Class. Today's class, we are going to discuss the position control system using servo motor. Position control system using the servo motor. So servo mechanism or servo is a system, is a control system whose output is whose output is load position, whose output is load position. Right, load means anything. So the load means generally, if you can see the industries, some, I mean, consumer industries like that, some we have to move the material from one place to another place. Suppose take the cement plants, and take some coal industries, and take some power industries. We have to move some material from one place to another place. So that means position. We have to move the load, right? So here for that we use servo mechanism as right. In the servo mechanism we use servo motor. 401 unmute. Idiots. So in the servo mechanism, the basic the output which is to be controlled is mechanical position of the load. So the what is called servo mechanism means servo mechanism is a feedback control system whose output is mechanical position. That's a very fundamental definition. What is servo mechanism? Servo mechanism is nothing but if it is a feedback control system whose output is mechanical position. We need to control the position of the some load, right? So here the position control system using servo motor, here we used an amplifier as a part of the control system. We use a generator, we are used a servo motor, we use gates, we use the load, we use some potentiometer, right? Here the potential role of potentiometer is potentiometer converts the mechanical position into electrical signal. Mechanical position into electrical signal. It's a transducer, right? It's a transducer. Potentiometer, right? It is a transducer. So which converts transducer is nothing but which converts one form of energy into another form. Here the energy, here the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. Mechanical energy nothing but here the mechanical position is the mechanical signal, and it converts into electrical signal based on the change in the position of the load, right? So coming to the operation of this position control system using servo motor, coming to the operation of the position control system using servo motor, generally here if you observe the diagram, we have the generator, we have the servo motor. This servo motor is moving this load. This load is moved by this motor, right? That means the position of the load depends upon the motor driving capability. And the motor, here the generator generates the power required by the motor. So here the servo motor is driven by the generator. So the power required for this servo motor is generated by this generator, right? So here the load whose position is to be controlled, whose position has to be controlled, is connected to the motor shaft through gear wheels. Here the load whose position, that means the position here, what is the main objective? We need to control the position of the load, right? So that load is connected to motor shaft through these gates, right? So in the closed loop control system, we already discussed. First of all, we are giving some reference signal, and that error detector compares the reference signal with the measured signal. Based on the comparison, based on the error signal, the controller will done the remaining part, right? Here also the position of the load is controlled by the motor, servo motor, but the power required by the servo motor is generated by this generator. Okay, so here the load is the main servo mechanism, nothing but the main objective is we need to control the position of the load. So the load whose position has to be controlled is connected to the servo motor shaft through gear wheels, So here the potentiometer is divided into two sections, that is input potentiometer and second one is feedback potentiometer. Feedback potentiometer means what is the actual position of the load is fed to the feedback potentiometer. The required position, మనకి ఏ పొజిషన్ లో లోడ్ ఉండాలి ప్లేస్ చేయాలి, దట్ ఈస్ ద రిక్వైర్డ్ పొజిషన్ విచ్ వీఆర్ గివింగ్ టు ఇన్పుట్ పొటెన్షియోమీటర్, okay, right? Right, to input potentiometer. So theta C is current position. C means current position, and this is the angular position. This is the angular position. Okay, theta R means reference position, right? So theta R and theta C. Theta R is given by U, and theta C is nothing but whenever we turn on the control system, position control system, what is the actual position of the load is nothing but theta C, and theta R is your required position. Now, what is the function of this potentiometer means? Potentiometer is converts the mechanical position into electrical signal. Mechanical position into electrical signal. Here, the potentiometer generates an error signal. And who that generates an error signal which is VE, whose value equal to K, some constant, into theta E. This is the signal generated by the potentiometer. Voltage. Why it is voltage means I told that potentiometer converts the change in the mechanical position or the mechanical position into electrical signal. So if you observe this VE, this is electrical signal which is error voltage, which is proportional to, if it is K is the constant, which is proportional to error in the position. Theta E, nothing but difference of your required position theta R, angular position, required angular position, minus actual position of the load, theta E, right? So here the electrical signal which is generated this by potentiometer is proportional to error in the position. So this VE, which is low intensity signal, which is to be amplified by an amplifier, and the amplified electrical output is given to the generator field circuit to generate required power, is required to generate the sufficient power required for the motor to change the position of the load. So if there will be some finite error signal VE, it given to the generator field circuit, the generator generates some power and given to the motor, and the motor shaft shifts the position of the load. Again, the new position, that is theta C complement, take the new position theta C complement, is again compared with theta R. Still there is any change in the position, that means still there is any error in the position, right? Again it generates some error signal, again it given to the generator again drives the motor, again shifts the position of this load to another position, that is theta C double dash. Suppose, let us take, when the suppose if this time theta R becomes equal to theta C double complement, that means new position of the load, right? the errors in the position, that is when both the positions are equal, that is required position and the actual position both are equal, it generates zero error signal, which becomes voltage becomes zero, and generator doesn't generate any power, and the motor stops running. That means whenever the motor stops running, nothing but the load reaches to the required desired position. This is how the servo mechanism happen. So servo mechanism, nothing but it is a feedback control system whose output is a mechanical position. Is it clear, all of you? Is it clear, all of you? Is it clear? Respond. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the same thing here explained here. Above system consists of servo motor, which is powered by the generator. The load whose position has to be controlled is connected to motor shaft through gear wheels. Potentiometers are used to convert the mechanical position into electrical signal. The desired load position theta r is set on the input potentiometer, and the actual position theta c is fed to the feedback potentiometer. The difference between angular position generates an error signal, which is amplified and fed to the generator field circuit, whose voltage is VE. The induced EMF of the generator drives the motor. The rotation of the motor stops when the error signal is zero. That is, when the desired load position is reached. When the load is reached the desired position. This type of control systems are called servo mechanisms. The servo or servo mechanisms are the feedback control systems in which output is mechanical position. Okay, is it clear? It's a very important essay question. It's a very important essay question. Write a short note on servo mechanism. It's a very important question. Okay, right. Now we'll discuss mathematical modeling. So very important. We'll stand, and it is the starting position part of the analysis, mathematical analysis in our entire syllabus. So ikkada nunchi manaku mottham mathematical part start avutundi, right? Mathematical modeling of a control system. So we know that a control system is nothing but collection of the components or the objects which are connected in a sequence to perform a task. Right? Here, every component has input and every component has an output. So the relation between input and output generally governed by the differential equation, described by the differential equation. If you observe the block diagrams here, every block has individual input, has an individual output. The relation between input and output of each component. If you observe the circuit, electrical furnace is a component, sensor is a component, A to D converter is a component, interfacing circuit is a component, display is a component, relay is a component, right? So here, if you take the controller, it is a component. DDA converter is a component. Amplifier is a component. So every component has an individual input and has its own output. The relation between input and output is described by the differential equation, right? So that's what here explained. The input and output relation of the components of the system are governed by the differential equation. So every control system consists of set of differential equations. So the control system ki manaki two differential equations vasthayi. The response and output of the system can be studied by solving those differential equations for different input conditions. So by solving the differential equations by varying some inputs, we can monitor or we can determine the response of the system, nothing but output of the system, right? So coming to linear systems, the already told what is system, control system, and linear control system. So what is linear system means, already you know the what is linear system, and you learned in the signals and systems also. The mathematical modeling of a system is a linear if it obeys the principle of superposition and homogeneity. Principle of superposition and homogeneity. Suppose if y1 and y2 are the input outputs for the inputs x1 and x2, y1 and y2 are the outputs for the inputs x1 and x2, then the combination of the inputs, that is a1 and a2, which are called weighted constants. So when the input is a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t, you are getting the output as a1 y1 of t plus a2 y2 of t. If you are getting the output like this, then the system should be linear. Here a1 a2 are the constants. A1 and a2 are the constants, so they are not dependent upon, they are not function of time. That's why they are called linear time invariant system. Here the coefficients of the system response are not function of time, hence they are called linear time invariant system. The system which obeys the both superposition principle and homogeneity, then the system is called linear system, right? When the coefficients of the differential equations are not the function of time, that is called linear time invariant system. They are not varied with respect to time. The response of the system is not varied with respect to time. Suppose a linear time variant system means the coefficients of the differential equations must be the function of time. That means the response of the system varies with respect to time. So the mathematical model will be linear if the differential equation describing the system has constant coefficients. If the coefficients of the differential equation describing the systems are constant, then the model is linear time invariant. Suppose if the coefficients are the function of the time, then the system is called linear time varying system. Linear time varying system, right? Let's discuss one more important concept, very important for short answer question, that is transfer function, objective quiz point of view, transfer function of the linear system. How do we find transfer function of the linear system? So transfer function of the linear system is defined for linear time invariant systems, right? Here it is defined as ratio of Laplace transform of output to Laplace transform of input with zero initial conditions. Suppose x of t is your input, y of t is an output, right? Then the transfer function t of s, which is equal to y of s by x of s, y of s by x of s, y of s by x of s. So that is Laplace transform of output, by Laplace transform of input, right? With zero initial conditions. Transfer function is also called the gain. Electronic systems lo goste, the transfer function is also called gain. You already calculated and you already learned while amplifiers, while running the concept of amplifiers. V naught by V in, gain, right? You are calculated gain in dBs also, 20 log V naught by V in, right? Here the same thing. The transfer function is also called gain. Here the transfer function is defined as the ratio of Laplace transform of output to Laplace transform of input with zero initial conditions. Zero initial conditions, nothing but if you take the mechanical position, the motor is at the rest position. If you take the electronic system, zero initial condition, nothing but in the electronic system you are having capacitor, you are having the inductor. What is the function of the capacitor and inductor? Anyone? What is the basic function of the capacitor and inductor? Capacitor em chestundi?
Stores energy.
Right.
Store the
Energy. Energy. Similarly, inductor also stores the energy. Zero initial condition means there is no energy stored in the that component. There is no energy stored in the component, right? That is called zero initial conditions, right? Transfer function is defined as ratio of our Laplace transform of output to Laplace transform of input under zero initial condition. That means no energy stored in the any electronic component. Similarly, coming to mechanical system, the system is at rest. That means there is no motion. There is no motion of the system. That means motor, suppose if the motor is there in your mechanical system, it is at the rest position, right? Is it clear? So generally here the transfer function can be obtained by taking the Laplace transform of differential equation governing the system with zero initial conditions and rearranging the resulting algebraic equations to get the ratio of output to input, Okay, suppose if you take let us take one example. Yeah. 3y square of t. I'm taking some differential equation plus 2y of t plus 3 equal to 2 into x of t let us take not x of t wired yeah, take the derivative, not power, take the derivative. It's a double derivative, it's a single derivative, and plus 3. Okay, this is the differential equation. If you observe, y double dot means what is the order of the system? Y double dot means what is the order of the system? What is the order of the system?
Second order.
Second order, d square y by dt square, isn't it? So y dot means dy by dt. So if you write the equation same day like this, d square y by dt square, the same equation will be represented like this also, plus 2 dy by dt plus 3 2 into dx by dt or dx of t by dt plus 3, right? So this is the differential equation. From this we need to calculate the transfer function. What is the transfer function? What is the transfer function? T of s equal to y of s by x of s, right? So apply Laplace transform to this differential equation. In order to get the transfer function, apply Laplace transform. So 3 into, if you apply Laplace transform to a d square by dt square, what you get? What you get? Laplace transform of d square y by dt square. What do you get?
S square into y of x minus
Right.
s into y of 0 minus y dash.
Not x of 0, nothing, anything, because the initial conditions are 0. You do not take those things. Here we are taking the initial conditions are 0. So don't consider like that. Just take s square into y of s. Is it clear? That's why I'm telling the initial conditions are 0. Is it clear? Right. 2 into y of s. Two into s into y of s. Okay. And 3 into, take this one as y of t. That is 3 into y of s. Y of s. Here also y of t. This is x of t. 3 into x of t here. Here also 3 into x of t. So 2s into x of s plus 3 into x of s. Take the y of s common from these three terms. Take the x of s common from these two terms. What is y of s? 3s square plus 2s plus 3 equal to, what is x of s? 2s plus 3. Then what is the transfer function? Y of s by x of s under zero initial condition. Here the transfer function becomes two s plus 3 by 3s square plus 2s plus 3. So we are getting two differential equations. Generally, for any control system, we are getting set of differential equations. We rearranging the differential equations like this. How we can equate the equations like this means we'll discuss in further concepts, right? By after rearranging these equations, you can apply Laplace transform and take the terms like this, bring and calculate transfer function, which is ratio of Laplace transform of output to Laplace transform of input, which is your transfer function under zero initial conditions. Is it clear, all of you? How we find the transfer function? Is it clear? Is it clear, all of you? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Respond, please. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is the transfer function is a very important definition, right? So by taking the Laplace transform of differential equations with zero initial conditions and rearranging the resulting algebraic equations. So ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు టైమ్ డొమైన్ నుంచి ఎస్ డొమైన్ కి వెళ్ళిపోయిందో డిఫరెన్షియల్ ఈక్వేషన్స్ కాస్త ఆల్జీబ్రిక్ ఈక్వేషన్స్ కింద కన్వర్ట్ అయినట్టు. సో ఆల్జీబ్రిక్ ఈక్వేషన్స్ ని మనం రేషియో ఆఫ్ అవుట్పుట్ ఇన్పుట్ కింద మనం ఫ్రేమ్ చేసుకోవాలి. Similarly, impulse response of the linear system. How do we calculate impulse response? How do we calculate impulse response? What is the impulse response? Y of t is nothing but when it is called as h of t. Y of t is the response of the system. When it is called when it is called impulse response of the system, whatever the input of the system, x of t ఏమవుతుంది ఇంపల్స్ సిగ్నల్ అంటే ఏంటి? రిప్రజెంట్ ఎలా చేస్తాం ఇంపల్స్ సిగ్నల్ ని? ఇంపల్స్ సిగ్నల్ ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం?
Delta of t.
Right, delta of t. So if you apply Laplace transform to this impulse signal, what is the value?
1.
Right, 1. Laplace transform of this impulse input unit impulse signal is 1, right? So the impulse response of the signal, that's what he explained. Consider linear time input system, right? Take the unit impulse function delta of t, right? So the impulse response of the system for a single end output can calculated by taking the input signal delta of t, right? So we can calculate thing like this: g of s equal to c of s by r of s, where g of s is nothing but impulse response of the system. In the place of transfer function, we are getting g of s. Why we are getting g of s means in the place of h of, in the place of h of t in your signals and systems, మీరు h of n, h of t అని తీసుకుంటారు. Here we are taking g of s. The representation considered as g of s, right? So c of s by r of s. C of s is nothing but output, R of s is nothing but input. So ఇది మీకు చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. in notations. In the control systems, we are not taking y of s as the output, x of s as the input. In the control systems, up to end of the syllabus, we are taking c of s as the output of the control system. R of s is the input to the control system, right? Okay. So what is the transfer function is T of s. Transfer function is T of s, right? So which is equal to C of s by R of s. C of s by R of s. Where C of s is the output of the system, R of s is the input to the system, T of s is the transfer function system, and this T of s becomes G of s. T of s becomes G of s when your input is impulse signal. When your input is impulse signal, the response of the transfer function of the system becomes G of s. Right? So that's what I want to discuss. Yeah, I want to discuss in today's class. So in the next class, we'll discuss feedback. నేను అంత తొందరగా వెళ్ళను. ఫస్ట్ నాకు బేసిక్స్ మీకు స్ట్రాంగ్ అవ్వాలి. బేసిక్స్ స్ట్రాంగ్ అయ్యాక